Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to make sure we've got everything. Here we go. Okay. I want to make sure we're live here. Excellent. Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay. So, doing a live stream here for After the License. So, we're live on YouTube. We're live on the Facebook page as well. I wanted to answer any questions any real estate agents had about marketing, about lead gen. Maybe you're a new real estate agent and you're thinking about starting a business or getting into real estate and you have questions around that. So drop a comment on wherever you're watching this and let me know what question I can answer for you. So as we some of that stuff to come through, I want to touch on one question that I get a ton, and that's, as a new agent, what marketing, what lead generation strategy should you start with, right? And ultimately, I think every new agent should have a couple different marketing and lead generation strategies that they pursue. But I think the first one that people tend to forget is their database and their sphere of influence. I think that's just it's low hanging fruit in a lot of cases, and people don't think about it or take advantage of it enough. So I think so often when we're brand new, we feel like we don't have the experience to kind of actually help those people out. And you might be right about that, right? And those people might know you don't have the experience. But I think reaching out to those people and staying in front of those people is important and ultimately really powerful. So one strategy I've heard that's worked really well for agents I've talked to is, start to create a vendor list. Okay. So you're brand new, you get your license, you ultimately want to have a list of vendors that you're going to be able to reach out to, right? You're going to be able to talk to and refer out to. And so that vendor list can be a point of contact for a reason to reach out to people in your database and people in your sphere of influence. And so, I recommend getting a list together of people in your database, in your sphere of influence, and then start to reach out to those folks and use that vendor list as the reason why you're calling. So, call up old coworkers, people you used to live with, your neighbors, and just say, hey, I don't know if you know, but I got into real estate. I'm going to have a list of fantastic vendors that I refer out to. Do you have any vendors that you like, that you used recently, that you really love? And it can be anyone from a landscaper to a roofer to a plumber to whatever it is. And just kind of let them talk. And what I think that does is really two things, right? It starts the conversation. It's a non-salesy call, and it tells people you're in real estate. So I think just that one strategy, if you start to do that and you start to follow up with that database, follow up with that sphere of influence, I think can become really powerful. So again, just to kind of reset the stage, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on the Facebook page, we are live. My name is Jeff Bittner. After the License, put out videos on YouTube and do a weekly podcast. So just search for After the License on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on the Facebook page. I do weekly masterminds every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to join those, shoot me a message. Happy to invite you to those. And if you're watching on YouTube, we've got a ton of free goodies in the description. So we're talking about database or sphere of influence. I have a free course on setting up that database and setting up that sphere of influence. So hopefully that is all helpful for you. Let me just go back through here and make sure we're not missing any questions on the post, see if there's anything I can help you out with. And again, if you're watching live, let me know what I can answer for you. Maybe it's a marketing question, maybe it's a lead gen question, maybe it's building your real estate business. So where did you get leads when you first started out? So again, great question. So this one popped through. I think, again, you have to kind of figure out what lead generation strategy is going to work for you. I think if you're just starting out, if you don't have a huge marketing budget, you have to do something that's kind of prospecting based. And, when you're doing something that's prospecting based, you're really kind of spending more time than you are money. So prospecting might be open houses. It might be calling expireds. It might be calling for sale by owners. I really like open houses. I think, especially in the crazy market we're in right now, if you can find a listing that hasn't sold yet, and it doesn't have to be your listing. In most states, it can be a listing someone else has. If you can partner with that agent, ask to hold that house open, and then hold those open houses, it's a great way to get some real estate reps under your belt. You're able to meet with people, you're able to talk with them, you're able to have real estate related conversations, and you can start to get your feet wet. And with open houses, you might actually really get a buyer who's looking to buy something in the near future, right? There's not a ton of lead generation avenues that kind of allow for that. So I think that's a fantastic question. If I was brand new, I would do my sphere of influence, I would do open houses, and then I would go all in on like Facebook and social media. So I would be networking as much as I could on Facebook. So joining local Facebook groups in my area, and then doing social media. I would spend a lot of time doing some videos. So I would, put videos on Instagram, put videos on Facebook, and talk about my community, talk about why I love the area, talk about local restaurants, and, just to continue to kind of follow that up. So your database, your sphere of influence, open houses, social media, all really important pieces to kind of building a real estate business. But ultimately, all of those things are going to take some time. So hopefully that is helpful there. Great question. Let me just jump over to YouTube and make sure we're not missing any questions over there. And so again, guys, I'm putting out content daily, almost daily, like every other day on the podcast and on the YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed in both places. You can go to YouTube, type in After the License, and you can find that content over there. And then, anywhere you get podcasts, you can listen to the After the License podcast. So a lot of the content I'm putting on YouTube, about half of it just goes to the podcast. Half of it is just in YouTube video form. So again, hopefully that's helpful for you. The goal with After the License is to really do just that, right? Provide people info for when they get their real estate license. So I talk a lot about building your business, time blocking, productivity stuff, all of that fun info that not a ton of people talk about. You don't get that ton of info when it comes to real estate license and getting your classes and doing all of that fun stuff. So, okay, excellent. One question, I'll just address because, again, get it a lot from new agents, and that's kind of interviewing brokerages. So I put a video out on the YouTube channel, so you can search for it on the channel about interviewing brokerages. I think if you're brand new, you really need to kind of look for a couple of different things. You need to look for a brokerage that has some type of mentor for you. All of the videos online, the content I put out, it's all great, but you need to be able to actually sell real estate in your local state. You need to be able to fill out a contract. You need to be able to know how to represent buyers. You need to be able to figure out how to, understand earnest money and timelines and deposits and title companies and lenders and all that stuff. And so a mentor, in my opinion, is maybe the most important thing when you're getting started in real estate. The other piece is just that education and training. So when looking for a brokerage, I would look and ask about those two things specifically. And I would interview a ton of them. I would figure out, 5 or 6 brokerages, do them in all shapes and sizes, small brokerages, big brokerages, figure out what makes sense to you. There's a big thing with splits and costs and fees, and all that stuff's important to think about. But just remember, when you're first starting out, there's not going to be a ton of commission. So if you have a high commission split with a brokerage, that might be okay, right? If you're getting enough value from it, if you're getting enough education, if you're getting enough mentorship. So, don't be too caught up in some of the costs, especially if you're brand new. I would try and figure out where's all the value, where's the stuff you can learn the most. And then the other piece of that is, for a lot of people, I think the team route is fantastic. I recommend people all the time, find a local team with someone who has leads for you, has some systems you can plug into, has training and mentorship and can kind of help you and has been in business for a few years in your local area so that they can kind of guide you with some of that stuff. So hopefully that is helpful as well. What other questions, guys? Feel free to drop them down below. What can I help you with? I'll put a little comment here on YouTube. I know we got a few people up watching. What questions can I answer for you? Again, the biggest thing with real estate is it can really be a rewarding career, but you have to be patient and you have to go into it with a certain type of mindset, and you have to be willing to kind of put the work in. I think so often now we see HGTV and some of these other things, and it looks like this really easy, flashy business. And that's just not always what it is, right? So just things to think about. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions come through, and I'll just make sure I'm not missing anything here. So we'll go ahead and wrap up this live stream. As always, guys, if there's anything I can help you out with, join the Facebook page, leave a comment, find us on Instagram, drop us a DM, comment on any of the YouTube videos. I try and respond to it all. So if there's anything I can help you out with, any questions you have on getting your license, being a new real estate agent, or just marketing and lead gen, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I am doing, again, weekly marketing masterminds, Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time over Zoom. All agents, new and experienced, are welcome to join and participate. So let me know if you'd like an invite to that as well. So, alrighty, guys, thanks for letting me go live, and I will catch you next time.